Hello and welcome to the first day of spring and another episode of the Back Bone Zone. My name's Tyson and stoked to have you here for another episode. Yeah, first day of spring, 1st of September 2022, and it's an exciting time. You know, obviously spring brings about some warmer weather and things like that, but as well as that, pretty exciting topic that I can share with you guys today, and something that we've been working on for a long time. So I'll get into that in a bit, but firstly, I guess to preface it all is, you know, Backbone's been open for 17 years now, so since 2005, and obviously we're super psyched about that. Riss started the shop back in 2005, and the one thing that I got from him, opening the shop was that he cares about the BMX scene, and he cares about it in a way that is, hard to describe, and he's just very passionate about the way BMX is and what it means to him, and he wants to pass that on. And then I felt the same way, but from living in a different town, and it's been so cool to, come on board about a year after the shop started. So, we've been doing the damn thing for a while, but hopefully, everyone can feel that passion that we have for the BMX scene in Australia. That's the biggest thing for us, for the shop, is just to grow and nurture the BMX scene in Australia. And I guess that's why we do what we do. We spend a lot of extra time trying to run jams, trying to run comps, and obviously coach kids to try and build the next generation of BMXers. And we like going and building pump tracks and all sorts of different stuff. Just basically try and make BMX sick and hope to leave it in better shape, and things like that really help to do that, I think. So, you've probably got, if you're a listener of the podcast, you've probably gotten that feeling from what I care about in BMX. From listening to past episodes. I'm always harping on about the scene and whatnot. But yeah, September 1st, I guess, brings with it some change for the shop in a good way. And basically, Riss and I have been thinking about, how can we build the scene? How can we make sure that the scene continues to flourish for a long time? And basically, we've been thinking about how it is that sports flourish in general. So you can have a sport that you are very passionate about, but you don't ever have to play that sport professionally, but you can love it. For example, say if you love rugby league or AFL, you can be very passionate about watching AFL. You can potentially play in your local club. You don't have to be aspiring to be a professional athlete, and play for the AFL and NRL, and it's okay if you do want to do that, but there's a real passion that goes on with regular sports, and in part that's because sports have been around for a long time, and obviously people like to get behind a team that might be from where they're from, and the sport can kind of be nurtured in that way. And what Riss and I have sort of been talking about is that BMX doesn't quite have that yet. Now, we are some of the most passionate, people on the planet as far as, loving something that is more than a pastime and more than a hobby. It's definitely a culture. But one of the things that BMX is a little bit lacking at the moment is that official nature that sports and sporting codes can provide. So the biggest thing that you would see from, say, a sporting code, like we'll run with the example of AFL, so Australian Football League, for those that are watching overseas, you can go and look it up. The AFL, there's obviously the AFL, which is top tier professional sporting codes. Then it goes underneath that and underneath that and underneath that until you get to your local clubs. Now, with local clubs, what they would have is everyone coming to that local club who wants to play footy, and they would become a member of that local club, and those numbers from each of those local clubs gets kept as a database, and then at the end of each year, those numbers, or during the course of that year, those numbers that then get reported to the national, I guess you would call, peak body for AFL in Australia. So let's just call it Football Australia. And that Football Australia would then say to places like the Australian government, or I guess Sport and Rec is a part of the government, but there is then the ability to say, hey, you know that budget that comes out every year? Well, we actually have 100,000 members that play AFL regularly. They age between 7 and 50 years old, and they're playing, they're training twice a week and they're playing once a week. We need to have more funding to create better facilities, to create more facilities, and to make sure that those people who want to play the sport continue to be able to do so in a way that is better and better year on year. Now, what does that have to do with BMX? Well, the thing about BMX is it's obviously freestyle and it's racing, but one of the big things is that we don't have that peak body. In fact, we don't even have any local clubs in terms of freestyle. We do, and believe it or not, the only official BMX freestyle club is the one that Riss and I started, along with Laurie Buchanan, and it's called FACT BMX Club, so Freestyle ACT BMX Club. That's how we formed the club, so that then we could run jams. We were trying to get Stromlo Forest Park to open a public dirt park. We're still working on that, but that club allows us to do official things, but we don't have the ability to report to a peak body and say we've got this many members, because we're just ACT, and it doesn't allow us to have an accurate reflection of how many riders there are in Canberra, because not everyone wants to become a member of FACT BMX. It's just the way it is. Who's ever heard of FACT? You don't think of it as a thing that, why would I want to join this club? So that leads me to the drum roll. Riss and I have decided that we are starting Club Backbone, a legit club, the official BMX club of Australia. It's going to be something that we're going to be pushing pretty hard. Essentially, what we want to do is we want to make it the place that every BMXer can register to become a member and put their voice and their name towards basically bettering BMX in Australia. Now, the example that I gave of the AFL club, that's exactly what we're thinking about with Club Backbone. So even though BMX is freestyle and it's unorganized and things like that, I totally get it. Trust me, we love the unorganized nature of BMX. We also love the fact that you can go and compete in comps. BMX can be whatever you want it to be. But the cool thing about recording a database of BMXs is that we can have that same power. There would be 100,000 BMXs. There would probably be 500,000 BMXs in Australia. Someone that has a BMX bike that's been riding for less than 6 months, that's a BMXer. That's me 20-something years ago. That person if they're nurtured by the sport in an official way, can become whoever they could become the next Logan Martin, or they could become the next hardcore trail dude and build posh in Australia. It doesn't matter. Like we said, BMX can be whatever you want it to be, but we all need to start standing together, and we actually need to make it official. So yeah, we've started Club Backbone. It actually will start when you watch this podcast. You'll be able to go on the website and check out Club Backbone. So the things, I'll go onto the site now and I'll just read through what it is that we're trying to do. So, all right. So we've got, Club Backbone. We've taken a lot of inspiration from Club Homeboy, which was a BMX club started in the 80s by a BMX magazine back in the day. So, essentially they were doing the same thing in the 80s. We're trying to do it again now. So Club Backbone, the big thing for us with this whole club is that we want to make it feel like everyone's voice can be heard. This is not a top-down thing. This is something where everyone can have the same voice, and it comes down to who wants to put the effort in as to what we can start to see. But I'll just go through. So make sure the future of BMX in Australia is in good hands, yours. So that's why, that's what we're standing for with Club Backbone. So you're obviously going to get some membership perks. You'll get a personalized membership card, which I think will be really cool. Kind of throws back to the having something tactile that you can hold and be stoked with. Club Backbone sticker sheet. And the biggest thing is that we want to unify the community. We have a big BMX scene in Australia, but there's riders that are in Tasmania that maybe don't even connect with riders that are on a different part of Tasmania, let alone, the riders in Victoria and New South Wales and Queensland and things like that. We want to protect our culture because we basically don't want to see someone else try to see this as an opportunity to, let's say, so Oz Cycling is the peak body for cycling in Australia. They are meant to look after the interests of BMX in Australia. And I can't really comment on, well, I can actually. They're not doing a very good job. And I think they do a good job in terms of offering memberships and things like that. I think that they are doing a good job with the high performance athletes and things like that. So, if you're a part of Oz Cycling, please don't think that no shade on Oz Cycling, and I think that they've got a long way to go. They're trying to get better. They're trying to develop a pathway, as it's called. And what we basically want to do is we want to be able to give that data that we can get to Oz Cycling and say, look, we've got official numbers here. Like, this is the whole of Australia that's talking on behalf of BMX. This is what, we need to go to the government. We can start to approach different non-BMX industry sponsors. We can approach local councils and things like that. So the Club Backbone thing, by having it run by BMXers, we are going to ensure that everyone's voice that's a member is heard. It's just, at the end of the day, we're just a small BMX shop that has a following, and we're appreciative of that following. But the big thing is that we want to build the scene. So at the end of the day, you're just going to be talking to Riss or I, and that's where it's going to be run by BMXers. We believe in that keep BMX in the hands of BMXers quote. We had that as a sticker that we took inspiration from Bicycle Union in the UK. So protect our culture and of course building our scene. So we just want to see BMX grow. We want to see, instead of a football oval in every town, we want to see a kick-ass, dirt facility in every town, or a skate park, or a street plaza, or whatever it is that our members speak up and say that they want and what they ride. So I'll go through some key benefits so you can understand it a little bit more. So key benefit would be that you will become a member of the club, again, that cares about BMX in Australia. So no matter where you are located in Australia, adding your name to Club Backbone will give BMX a stronger scene. We can use that voice to call for more events, more facilities, and like I said, who knows, maybe if you've got a trail spot and it's going to get dozed, maybe having a club that has 50,000 members, and we can show the government that, look, this isn't just this unorganized thing. This is real deal. 50,000 users, they all ride 3 to 5 times a week. This is super important stuff for when it comes to keeping trail spots. So the sky's the limit. I'm sure you probably are out there thinking of your own idea that we could do with those sorts of numbers and letting people know how legit BMX is. Because this is the thing, we know as BMXers that BMX is legit. And we don't need someone else to tell us that it's legit. And that's why we need to do it ourselves. And that's why Club Backbone exists. So the next key benefit is the official record of active BMX riders. And again, why do you think there are so many football ovals and tennis courts across Australia? Because records are kept by every sporting code. These are passed on to a peak body, which in turn pushes for facilities and funding from the government. Club Backbone will be able to become a voice for BMX at large, by riders, for riders. Increase event attendance. So if you are a member of Club Backbone, contact us whenever you plan to run a jam. We will push jam information onto club members with emails and social media, meaning more riders can attend. Whether any BMX shop is putting on an event or a big brand, if you're a member of Club Backbone, this will be a way to reach more BMX riders from different scenes that you may not see otherwise. So this is a big thing for us. We are not trying to be the biggest BMX shop. I have spoken to different people who work at different BMX shops. Toby Forte, for example, he came into the shop about 6 months ago, and I said that we're looking to try and create Backbone to be more of a place that runs events and holds jams and does coaching and things like that. And if Lux or if Anchor or where else? My mind's blanking right now. I guess I'm in Backbone too much. But if there are brands, if Colony is putting on a jam and they want riders to attend, all they have to do is contact Club Backbone, and we will push that out to the members, and hopefully that membership depth will allow riders to go to your jam. And even on a smaller local level, like I went to a jam not last weekend but the weekend before. A young rider, Toby, who's 5 years old, he's shreds. Like if you go and check him out, his Instagram's Toby versus BMX, I think, with underscores, TOBI. This young kid, he's moving to Queensland and he wanted to have a going away jam before he went. Now, there was quite a lot of riders, but I'm sure quite a lot more riders would have come if they had have known about it. And if we could push that out to riders all across Australia, you never know who could come, And this is the thing. I want it to see where if someone's having a birthday jam and they want to put it out there and they're a member of Club Backbone, then they can contact us. And instead of getting 15 riders to their jam, all of a sudden they're getting 25 riders. And then they meet 10 new riders, maybe they become mates, and then all of a sudden the scene grows and gets tighter and tighter. so that we can enjoy BMX together. The scene builds. So help shape BMX. And if you've got an idea to make BMX even more awesome, we want you to have your idea and voice heard. We're going to hold regular Club Backbone member Zoom meetings that will be scheduled to ensure that members' ideas are being heard. Group action can take place to bring those ideas into reality. So, for example, I've actually been trying to work with the Hambone guys in Newcastle to put on a jam, so a Backbone Hambone jam, call it Fully Boned. I wanted to actually run it before the Act Jam, but I was trying to work with Bent Spoke to make it happen, where it was a bit bigger of a jam, but ran out of time. Bent Spoke actually had some, prior obligations. They're not too worried about BMX events except for the Act Jam at this point in time, and I don't blame them. But that's the type of thing where I want people to be able to connect. And Hambone guys, just so you know, I love what you guys do with all of the jams that you guys are running, and I want that Fully Boned jam to happen, and I want to be able to do more than just that Fully Boned jam. So hopefully over the summer we can make something happen in the Newcastle area. But this is what I'm talking about. Rather than two people getting together, we can have Zoom meetings where who knows how many people can get on that Zoom call. And if you want to talk about a jam that you want to have in Hobart or in Shepparton or in Brisbane, then you can, start to get people G'd up. A lot of the time, all jams are and all events are is just one person talking to another person. They set a date, it starts to happen. The Act Jam was no different. It started it started again in 2013 because I wanted it to happen, because it was one of the reasons, it was the reason why I came to Canberra in 2005, and I just wanted to feel that thing again. But all I said to Riss was, dude, we should put the Act Jam on. We should make that happen again. And it was just that conversation and communication between two people and agreeing, yeah, okay, let's do it, that now it's turned into what it is. I've got to put out a media release, in fact, but Vans have just come on as the naming rights partner to the Act Jam this year. So we're going to be having a pretty crazy jam this year. Hopefully international riders will be back, and it's going to be a big one. But it's all started because two people agreed that they were going to do it, and that's how it gets going. So I want people to meet and have their ideas heard. So another key benefit is grow your community. The more riders, the better. Make new connections with riders through various Club Backbone affiliated events. So again, that's just moving through that idea of growing your community through attending jams that you may not have otherwise, or speaking with riders and things like that. And make change at a local level. So building BMX means doing it from the grassroots. If you are a BMX rider in Australia and you'd like to get a skate park or dirt facility built in your area, as a club member, you can request official data and support from Club Backbone to give to your local council. This will help with traction to get closer to your goal. The more members, the more powerful this data becomes. So again, this isn't just about building big deal stuff. I want it to be where we are getting riders who live in regional areas the ability to say to their local council, hey, I'm a member of Club Backbone. Currently, Club Backbone says that there are 3,000 members in this regional area of New South Wales, and they all ride BMX for this amount of time, and they want a skate park. Now imagine if you were to propose that to your local council. You've got actual numbers, you've got data, you've got the age categories. Oh, there's this many female riders, there's this many male riders, there's this many riders under 13. This is huge potential for BMX growth. And everyone, it's not a thing that you don't think about other sports doing this, but this is what they do. This is how things get done. This is how not even sports get it done. Like we have a lot of infrastructure for other types of businesses, and it's because there's data there that allows us to get it done. I used to hate the word data, and it's a bit of a weird word to say when we're talking about BMX riding, but honestly, it is going to be a game changer. So yeah, the membership is going to start. I'm going to make it active today. We're hoping to really make change in the BMX scene in Australia. And again, like I said, this is going to be the thing, the cannon fodder that will allow us to take BMX to that next level. I would love to see it where if they're building a leisure centre with a swimming pool and things like that. Well, you never know. The amount of members that we could potentially get, they could be putting indoor skate parks that are government facilities in every town. Not in every town, maybe in every town. Depends if we've got a heck ton of BMXs. So this is the type of thing that I want to see. And I just want to see everyone continue to enjoy BMX and to continue to grow it and to just feel a part of something. And, I love being able to meet all the riders that I do meet through the store, through the years. And I think that everyone deserves to be able to do the same thing. So, yeah, we just want to unify the scene. We want to make it happen. This isn't a play at, trying to. Obviously, it would be great to have the store grow, but we want to work together with the other stores to grow BMX. If BMX grows and there's more riders in Australia, and there's more events, and there's more attendance at events, then there's more riding, and I guess there's more bikes that get sold, and that's good for all stores. So, I would really love to know what you think. Please leave me a comment in the video if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to it, then please hit us up on Instagram, send us a DM. I'd love to know your thoughts. We're going to make it happen. We're going to try really hard to continue to grow BMX and also look after it from a BMX perspective. And just, I want to see everyone enjoying BMX more and more all the time. And I think this is the way, this is the future. So, yeah, thanks for listening to my rant. Big news. I'm excited. I'm actually, I'm nervous about it, but I'm certainly nervous about the extra work that it's going to bring, but it's necessary. So anyway, like I said, leave us a comment. Please leave me leave the video a like, and we'll catch you next week. Oh, last thing, I will put the link to the Club Backbone page on the description, and we'll post some stuff on Instagram about it too. So awesome, crew. Thanks for listening. See you later. Have a good one.